Welcome to the legislative report of State Representative David Jaye.
Welcome to the program. I'm John Perry, and I'm joined by Representative Dave Jaye. Representative, welcome.
Hello, John.
Representative, let's talk this month about crime and some of your initiatives dealing with crime. Certainly, that's a very important issue among the voters. First off, you are working on an idea that deals with the treatment of people who have become addicted to drugs. And the plan you have in mind is sort of revolutionary, really, in terms of who would pay for that treatment. Tell us about your idea. How did you first think of it?
John, the state police reports indicate that about 80% of the crimes are committed by 20% of the criminal population. So if we can go after those repeat offenders, not only can we save people against violence, against robbery, against abuse, against being victims, but we'd also save the taxpayers a whole lot of money and lock them up for good, or at least maybe till they're 70 years old, unless they're perverts, lock them up forever, or until we get the death penalty, whichever one comes first. Fry them or keep them forever.
What about your colleagues in the legislature? Have you talked to them? What are they thinking?
All these Looney Tune defenses, people have got to be held responsible for their actions.
Is that the case?
There aren't enough men around to discipline them. I know it sounds like a sexist, but yeah, you bet. It is a sex thing. Women do a great job, a lot of women-headed households, but sometimes you need your pop, your old man, to whack you on the fanny. You need a man to be able to pull you by your ear over to the neighbor's house and say, my boy was the guy that threw the baseball through your window, and he's going to be doing some chores to make it right. You need a man to be able to discipline a kid, to be respectful of girls, to be respectful of women, to be respectful of adults, to conduct themselves in a responsible way, to teach guilt, to teach morality, to teach a sense of obligation and duty. If we can break somebody on the path to hell early, maybe we'll divert a lot of heartbreak not only for that individual, but all the other folks that he's going to run into.
What can be done?
But, having an indulgent philosophy, Dr. Spock, never spank your kids, that's what created so many of these kids that felt no consequences of antisocial behavior, and now we unfortunately are the victims of that kind of crazy, anything goes mentality. John, one thing I did want to mention today, too, is the governor and Mayor Archer are kicking off a drug awareness week here the first week of September. And I've got a proposal for Mayor Archer and the other Detroiters. Number one is, I want you to pass a drug test. You and your political staff and the other bureaucrats should have to pass drug tests. Politicians, top bureaucrats should have to pass drug tests. Welfare recipients should have to pass drug tests. And we need to say that we will not tolerate drug abuse for people that are on public employment, people with responsibility of buses, people with responsibility of the police and the fire, public health in our classrooms. So I am in favor of random drug testing for the politicians that make the laws. It's not just enough to have a dance troupe in front of the Capitol saying, oh, say no to drugs. Oh, well, let's see, put the proof where the pudding is here.
We shake our heads. But
then you should have special obligations to keep clean when you're in public assistance and don't hurt other people.
The so-called perverts list. What's that about?
As of April 1st of this year, the police must reveal to you who the perverts are that are living in your neighborhood. And this is a community sex offender list, COPS, and or community offender pervert list. And what it is, these are repeat sex offenders, and it's a summary list of the address where this individual lives. I use the word individual very diplomatically. It's where the heck the perverts live, and their physical description. Now, if they put some politician's name, no big deal. But if they would put a private individual's name, then that private individual was wrongly listed as a pervert, could sue the township, the city, or sue the legislator. Because these perverts, in my estimation, are among the most dangerous criminals because they never overcome their addiction. That's why the term dirty old man is around. Because once you're in your 70s, you don't have the strength to mug people or to break into a house or carjack, but unfortunately you still have the ability and the evilness to be able to commit sexual crimes. So, ooh, that's special. Certain sex offenders who, putting in polite terms, suffer a mental abnormality or a personality disorder that makes them likely to commit additional sex crimes. What does this mean in common terms? If you first rape somebody, torture them, and murder, you are classified at your highest crime, which is murder. So you'll have some of these senior citizens that are sexual perverts but also murdered the kid, like the Megan law that inspired it, where he chopped off her tongue and killed her. That guy wasn't classified as a sex pervert. He was classified as a murderer. 8,000 of these perverts are on the streets. I want them chemically castrated so that they can't get excited, calm them down.
Representative, now that you have brought this issue to public attention, I'm wondering, have you heard from any of the tribes that are operating casinos in Michigan?
Well, so far I'm not wearing a toupee, John. I haven't been scalped. I still have my full head of hair. Would chop up their bodies and eat their bodies as lunch meat. Back in the late 60s, along with the other sexual revolution and drug revolution, you know, drop up and drop out. What was the name of that guy? Leary, I think, Tim Leary.
Tim Leary.
Let's do acid to expand your mind, man, and, you know, do orgies and don't pay your taxes, smoke dope, you know, go to Canada. I call it kiss your money goodbye. Why did I, Representative Jaye, pursue the bowling legislation? And I think the vest here says it all, because, John, bowling is fun. On July the 16th, 4:30 in the morning, when law-abiding people were asleep in bed, with their own wives asleep in bed. These perverts, in my estimation, it says the cops cannot pull you over, killed him, ripped his appendix, ripped his intestines. Houdini bled to death from internal bleeding. Soo-wee! While you're there, oh, maybe I'll rape you. Oh, no, geez, you might, tell the police what I look like, so I'll kill you. You can shoot. You can shoot the carjacker. With some crimes, murder, rape, sexual perverts, I'd like to see one strike, and you never are let out. Some of the blacks think that anytime you get a lot of money, you're getting whitey. You're getting the man. You're getting whitey. I don't know what they're going to find. Incest is best as long as you keep it in the family. These folks then should have to be accountable and present their record to the voters. Let's say you looked at somebody's girlfriend the wrong way and some big bruiser pops you in the nose. Or, well, if you make a deal with an Indian and they decide to renege, not pay you or not pay you as much, so people could access where all the perverts live, I think got away literally with murder from killing his wife, or former wife, and her boyfriend. That, okay, Mr. Drug Dealer, you Indians, the liberal Democrats, and the pervert. This is a den of iniquity. The perverts, the blacks, dirty old men. Perverts live. Perverts, not sex offenders, are sex offenders, and perverts mean sex offenders. A sex pervert, he's a pervert. These perverts, all the perverts were sex perverts. These perverts, for these perverts. Perverts are pervert, sex offender, perverts live, and their physical description, if they're behind bars, particularly for life in the state of Michigan.
Okay. Dave Jaye, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
And for Legislative Report of Dave Jaye, I'm John Perry. Thank you for joining us.
This has been the Legislative Report of State Representative David Jaye. If you have questions or comments about this program, write Representative Jaye at the House of Representatives, Post Office Box 30014, Lansing, Michigan 48909-7514.